What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Broscast, episode 227. My name is Harrison, and I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing good. It's a Monday. It's not, I don't know if it's a glorious Monday. It's just a Monday.
I mean, I say glorious Monday sometimes. They're never really glorious. I mean, let's be honest. I just
You gotta be
try to
positive
hype,
about it though.
just try to hype up the stream, hype up the podcast. Just positive vibes going into the show, right?
Harrison, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me start over. I'm doing great. It's a glorious Monday. It's by far the best Monday I've ever had in my life.
Hey, yeah, like right around like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Like it just gets real good.
Yeah, something about it. It's really good.
Well, before we dive, we got some good news to talk about.
Yeah, some fun news.
Yeah, most of it with Nintendo. We're gonna talk about that awesome Zelda trailer that they dropped early this morning. We'll talk
Yeah.
about kind of our excitement level on that and stuff like that. But before we do, Nick, before we dive into what we've been playing, how was your week?
Week was good. It was a very busy weekend. Me and my wife had like ordered a closet system for our for our bedroom closet, and we picked it up this weekend. And well, before we did, we're taking down like the builder shelf, like the shelves that come with the house. We were taking those
Yeah,
down, and we kind
starter
of
shelves.
realized that yeah, we kind of realized that we needed to paint. And we're like, okay, if we don't paint now, obviously we're never gonna do it.
Never gonna paint it
It's
until
like
you
the
move and you're like, oh shoot, we should have painted.
right. I mean, it's a closet, right? Like
Yeah,
you're not gonna think about painting it until everything is out of it. So
exactly.
we gotten everything out, and then we were debating. We're like, okay, if we paint, then we'll have to wait for it to dry. We won't be able to put up the closet system until Sunday. And eventually we did. We just decided to paint. We did that. Took a handful of hours to actually get it all done on Saturday, and uh, then we just like hung out and chilled and stuff. And then Sunday we put together the closet system and put everything up, and that took like probably 5 or 6 hours of
Okay.
drilling and uh, just putting everything together. But it's really nice. It's really nice. We got a lot more space. It looks a lot nicer. There's like actual drawers inside of the closet now, which is very cool. We got like shoe racks and stuff. So
Sweet.
it's a fun time. But we were very tired Sunday night. We were just like,
Oh, I'm
man,
sure.
it's like we need a weekend from this weekend. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's the worst thing about like say like trying to do stuff on the weekends. Like by
Project,
the
yeah.
time you're project on the weekend, by the time you're done, you're so exhausted and then you got to go into the work week. So
Right.
it's never fun. But
Yeah, so we were pretty tired this morning,
yeah.
but it was good. It was good. Felt very accomplished.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
How's your weekend? How's your week?
Week was good. Weekend was fine. We had a couple of extra friends over. So we did like burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that
Ooh, extra
on the
friends.
yeah, on the grill. So it was a fun time. And then I'll talk about here in a second, but I streamed some. I haven't streamed in a while since since Zelda. Um, so I kind of got the itch again, and I was like, you know what? I just bought Dark Souls. Let me stream it. So I streamed it Saturday and Sunday. I had a good time.
Nice. I'm sad I missed it. I didn't even realize you were streaming until I saw the clips on TikTok.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, dude, I like streaming, but sometimes like just setting it up and figuring out because I had like a the software I was using was like real laggy, I could tell. And
Mhm.
like I was trying to play it through that on my computer screen. And I'm like, man, this I was like, I know this game is 60 frames per second. Like it's the remastered version. And so I pulled out my because if I have my like my TV's right next to me, but then like if I'm looking this way and the street, cameras. So it's like I try to set up the best for like chatting and stuff like that. So I pulled up my portable monitor and put that up in front of my screen, and then plugged that into the Xbox into that, and then it worked pretty flawlessly. But when I did see when I uploaded a couple of clips,
Mhm.
the audio was slightly out of sync. So I'll have to figure that out. I'm not quite sure what was going on. I mean, it wasn't like a deal breaker, but
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if it was happening on stream or in the recording process, so I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, I had a good time. Um, and I guess I'll just jump right into it.
Yeah, yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, Dark Souls, man, I having a really fun time with this game. Like it's so simple compared to like Elden Ring. Um, like it's very just I don't know, like you just kind of pull up your shield. You might have to dodge a couple times, but you kind of just
Mhm.
around them and then you attack them in the back and then you kind of rinse and repeat. It's not the enemies aren't so far. None of the enemies are doing some crazy sort of move sets or anything like that. Like it's all pretty
Right.
telling. Like you kind of know what they're gonna do for the most part. Um, and yeah, I think I'm already maybe farther. Well, no, I think I do remember like one part in Dark Souls. I think it was Dark Souls, but I'm a few hours into it and I'm having a good time. I don't know why I stopped. Not necessarily because it was too hard, but maybe I got lost and just didn't understand the game
Right.
and just never came back to it. And then once I played all the other Souls games, like I understand the mechanics and how it works, and kind of can read the environments a little bit better. But yeah, it's fun and it looks great and it runs great on the remaster.
That's good, that's good. Yeah, I really wanted to keep playing on the Switch, and I played it before, I finished it back in, like, 2018 when it came out. But going from Dark Souls 2 on the Xbox
Yeah,
to Dark Souls 1 on the Switch, it's kind of a grading
yeah,
transition, and it was, a somewhat locked 30, not really locked 30 on the Switch, so I definitely wanna try it, like, try the remaster version at some point.
yeah.
But so how far did you get to the gargoyles? Did you ring the first bell?
Fought the two gargoyles. Rang the first bell, and then I went back to the Firelink Shrine, like the main like hub area, and I went
Yeah.
down. And it took me to like this flooded ghost town, and like all these ghosts started attacking me, and I couldn't attack them. So I was like, I'm missing something, missing some sort of item, missing some sort of weapon that I don't have yet. So I went back, and then I ended up going to like I did the garden place. I can't remember the name of it, like where you go to the garden, they have like the bush monsters and stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
fought that boss, like the moth boss, where you're like up on the bridge. And it's a pretty gimmicky boss. Like luckily I had projectiles, which I'm playing this game kind of like the way you should play like a Souls game. Like I'm reading the descriptions of the items.
Yeah.
I'm like carrying because the Elden Ring, the only thing I had was my flask, uh, and my mimic tier, and that was pretty much all I
You were
rocked.
raw dogging it pretty
I was
much.
very much raw dogging it, but like I was to the point where I didn't need that stuff. Like I could just kind of fly through the game if if I wanted to. But this game I'm playing very methodically. Like I'm doing what you're supposed to do, reading stuff, understanding the environment,
Mhm.
and so yeah, I fought the moth boss. Again, pretty gimmicky. Like she'll um attack you with like projectiles, and then she flies to like the bridge, and then you can have a few swipes at her, and then you kind of rinse and repeat. It's a pretty easy boss. And
Mhm.
the gargoyle boss was pretty easy too. Um, and then I ended up going to like the Valley of the Drakes, which I immediately felt like I was underpowered. So I went back up, and then I was kind of lost, and then I looked up a guide on where to go next, and I just got to play again. So
Okay.
having a really good time with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Man, just a soul summer.
Soul Summer, man. Yeah, it's fun. It's good, and I've already purchased Dark Souls 2. I got it on Amazon, so I've got that the Scholars Ascend ready for that.
Hell
So I'll
yeah.
probably if I get through Dark Souls 1 in time, I'll probably jump into Dark Souls 2. Because those games aren't like insanely long. Um,
2 was probably 30 hours.
yeah.
Maybe actually, probably less, probably 20 to 30.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Game
2 is
game's really
great.
good.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played it since I beat it like the first time, but I probably put like 70 or 80 hours into that game. Like I played that game a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to get to Dark Souls 2, but I'm loving Dark Souls 1 so far.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So other than that, I haven't really played much. I booted up and played like 30 minutes of Sea of Stars on the Switch. Like I've kind of
Mm.
starting to get into that a little bit.
And
The
you
other night,
finished it on
yeah, I finished it
console,
on
right?
Xbox. Yep,
Okay.
yep. I finished it on there, but I wanna get through that on the Switch because I know there's DLC coming soon, for Sea of Stars. I don't know when that expansion is supposed to come out, but, whenever it
Yeah,
does,
when is that coming?
I wanna be ready for it. Uh, and then, like, the other night, I was trying to figure out something to play. I played some more Demon Souls. I just don't know if I like that game. I don't know. There's just something that is not clicking with me with it. Like, I
Yeah.
tried getting down to the armored spider, and I can't like, I don't have any items to get my health full again. Like, so I'm constantly like, I've always got that section of health that's gone.
Well, you can go if you go to the hub area and I think if you kill yourself there, if you, like, run up to the top and jump off, I think it, like,
Yeah.
resets your humanity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's still annoying that you have to do
It's
that.
really dumb. I
Yeah,
hate that system in Demon Souls.
yeah, like, like, even in Dark Souls, like, they have that where you go hollow and you can use humanity, um, I'm not really sure, like, I did it once and my health didn't increase, so I'm not I'll have to read the mechanic again, I'm not 100% sure what it does, but I know you can, like, kindle the fire to make it stronger, so you can have more Estus flask going into, certain areas
Right.
wherever that bonfire is at. So that's a pretty cool mechanic, and then you can just upgrade your Estus flask like normal. So they have that similar system.
Does
Um, oh, go ahead.
doesn't it allow you to summon if you're human?
That might be the case because I did when I think I fought the gargoyles a couple times, and then I think I may have did the reverse hollowing, and then the next time I came, I could see people. So maybe that's what
Yeah.
that is. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's only if you're human. You can,
Okay. That
see
makes
people
sense
and
because then I
summon.
was able to summon the, Knight of Solaire, um, the, Praise the Sun guy.
Right, okay.
So I was able to
Yeah,
summon him, and he was like I said in my like, the clip I did, I was like, "I think I might have, like, cheated myself, like, out of this battle," because, like, he did, like, super damage to the gargoyles.
that's
Um,
alright.
but whatever, like, I if the mechanic's there, like, I'm gonna use it.
It's
I'm
not
not
like you couldn't have beat the
Yeah.
gargoyles by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I was able
We'll
to
just
get the
never
second
know.
phase pretty yeah, we'll just never know. But I'm not I'm not gonna I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna play the game how if a mechanic's in there, I'm just gonna play it or use
Yeah,
it. Um, I don't know, man, like, I wanna like it because it's again, like, it feels so good to play. It's beautiful,
this is Demon Souls that you're talking
Demon
about?
Souls, but there is just something it just is not clicking with me, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. If it hasn't clicked by this point,
I think I'm like 8.5 hours, almost 9 hours in.
did you ever beat the Tower Knight?
Yeah, I beat the Tower Knight, yeah.
Okay. I don't know then. I mean, you could did you try, like, World 3-1?
Yeah, I think I've tried all the worlds at this point
'Cause there is a really good weapon you can get. It's whatever the world where you, like, wash up on shore or it's raining or whatever, you're on the beach.
with all the skeletons.
Yeah, with all the skeletons.
Yeah,
There's a really good
that
scimitar
place
you
is
can get.
great for, farming,
Yeah, yeah,
early on, like, because you can yeah, it's good for getting souls. And I think I may have gotten that weapon that you're thinking of too.
okay. Yeah, it's
I
just a
think it's like a
scimitar.
scimitar. Yep, scimitar, yep. So I've got that, and I think I've upgraded that once or twice.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, just not having a lot of luck with it so far. I may go back to it eventually, but,
I would,
we'll
'cause
we'll see.
I don't think the spider's that difficult once you get the cadence down.
Yeah.
You just have to get up to it and then
That's the annoying part.
roll through that that move it does, and then you have to, of course, run away.
Yeah, when the like the acid fire or whatever comes after you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've nailed that down, but like I said, I'm going into it with like almost half health, so like I'm already
You're probably like 2 hits before you're dead.
yeah, pretty much, and then you got to dodge all like the fire attacks he throws at you and stuff like that, and then also if you get hits you, it slows you down, and then yeah,
Right.
it's kind of a pain. And then after that, after about 30 minutes of that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play something different. I booted up Final Fantasy X for PS4, and I probably played that for like 45 minutes. I got to like the first or second checkpoint. I don't
Mhm.
know if I'm gonna continue on playing that game. It's a big one to dive
It's a
into.
big undertaking.
It's a big undertaking. I don't know why. I mean, it was like 11:30 at night. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna boot up Final Fantasy and see what happens.
I could finish this
Um,
tonight.
but I do want to play that. I do want to play through that game again. It's a great game. Um, other than that, just Nintendo World Championships. Played for the week. Didn't get into it as much as we did last Friday, but
It's just
or
more fun with
it
people.
is, yeah, for sure. Even if you had like two screens and like you guys are both like you're both competing, like you're both doing the World Championships, but you're at least like looking at people, looking at the other screen while you're playing or something like that.
Right.
Um, didn't do too well. I think we talked about it a little bit ago, but I was like 3,000th and out of 50, so that's not bad. For like the first Mario one where you got to get the mushroom.
Yep.
And I think Zelda, like I was even worse than that. The Zelda one where you got to
Yeah, I was
fight the
bad.
monster.
I was
Um,
like 22,000 for that one. I
yeah,
didn't try that much, but
no, and yeah, um, and then the other ones like I didn't even really try like the Excite Bike one. I didn't really try too much, and then
I just didn't understand the Excite Bike one, like how you're even supposed to get a better time. But that's the case for a lot of these. I'm like,
yeah,
how do you cut down on the time and then you see someone do it and of course
you're
it
like, oh,
clicks,
yeah.
right?
Except for that Donkey Kong one, I was like, bro cheated, like,
Literally. Yeah. That's yeah, that was an exploit. What the hell?
yeah, because I went back and I tried to do that and it didn't work. I was like, how did he do this?
So
So
dumb.
I don't know. But that game is still fun. I feel like that's going to be one of those games where like I'll bust it out once a week, once or twice a week.
Mhm.
Try doing a couple of the see how low I can get the score, and then check in every Monday, when they get it uploaded.
Right.
So yeah, still a fun game, but yeah, definitely a
Yeah.
fun like party game.
Yeah, it's a good party game. Have have you finished Flintlock?
I did, yeah, I did finish it. Did it? Was that last week? No, okay, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I also finished
Yeah.
Flintlock. Um, Game's great. Again, I think it's like a good like 7 out of 10 kind of game. Um, that last boss was kind of bullshit to be honest. Like it's a two-phase fight and it does it where you fight the first phase, you kill the monster, something happens, and then you have to it takes you to a portal. You go through the portal, another cutscene happens, then you have to walk up into the arena and then initiate the second fight. Um, and I
Mm.
tell you, the move set for this boss was so ridiculous because he does this one attack where he does like a gravitational like ball that he throws down on the ground. And if you're caught within the area, it'll suck you in, and then he grabs you and throws you on the ground.
Yeah.
And the time for your character to get up is so slow in that moment, um, that he's already initiated his next attack, and
Mm.
you either have to perfect dodge or hopefully you have, um, a bullet so you can, counter
Like
him or whatever, or
parry
stagger
or
him. And there were so many times where I just didn't have that, and I wasn't able to perfect dodge, and then I got killed because, like, that gravitational attack, almost kills you. So, died so many times by that, like, to the point where I was like, "Man, I just wanna finish this game," and I was just like, "Let me just" I'm gonna boot it down to, the next difficulty, like easy mode or whatever, but then it was like, you won't gain achievements." So I was like, all right, let me try." And then I ended up beating it like the next 2 or 3 tries. But
okay, good.
yeah, pretty that yeah, not a great ending fight. And I even looked it up to try to figure out like the best move set or the best like weapons I should use and items and gear. And like everybody was commenting like, yeah, this is a bullshit
Stupid.
fight. Yeah. So
Something about final bosses in Souls-like games just tend to be annoying, tend to be super unfair.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But I still think it's worth playing through. I had a lot of fun. Like I did every side quest in the game. Um, I don't know if I got every armor set, but yeah, I think it's worth going through if you have free time. But it's not something that at the end of the year, if you haven't played it yet, Nick, I'm not. It's not something that it's not a must play,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it.
I mean, if you didn't like it in the first hour or so, like you probably just won't like it. Like,
Right. Yeah, it didn't really click with me, to be
yeah,
honest. It
yeah.
just felt a little bit clunky,
It is, yeah.
but
It's like I said before, it feels like an old school 360 game in a good way, but I would say like it's like a 7 out of 10. Like it's not great. It's good. It's a solid experience. But it did
gotcha.
like the last towards the last couple hours of the game, it crashed on me like 2 or 3 times just out of nowhere. Which it didn't do that prior, but I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, super weird. But yeah, I think it's a fun game. But again, if we're talking about top 10 list kind of thing, it's not a must play.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know.
All right. Well, Nick, I've been yapping for like a long time.
Hey, you've been
What you
playing a
been
lot, man.
playing? Yeah.
I 4 years in the making, finished Cyberpunk 2077. It was an excellent experience. I loved it. I loved the ending, loved the path that I went. I started as a corpo. That was my starting background, whatever, and then I kind of ended up being a nomad at the end. I took, the route with Pan Am. She's out in the, outskirts of Night City, and you can like do a bunch of quests with her, and then at the end of the game you can kind of bring her with you essentially,
Yeah.
and get a different ending than you would otherwise. But I ended up doing like way more side quests than I initially thought. Like I thought like all of the quests that I did were main quests, and they ended up being side quests, which is a really great testament to the quality of these quests that Cyberpunk has. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was just kind of blown away. Like kind of a night and day difference from when I first played the game back in 2020 to now. And like all the abilities were super cool. Like I kind of went towards the like katana, pistol, blades, like the hand blade things. I went more in that direction. So I went more like combat, like hand to hand combat focused.
Like close range, hand to hand.
Close range
That's cool.
focused. And that was really cool. And now I'm of course heavily considering getting Phantom Liberty because
Heard it's one of the best DLCs ever. So
I know, like it sounds really awesome from the reviews that I've read and listened to, and everything I've read about it. Sounds really cool. So I highly recommend it. If anyone fell off of the game back in 2020 or 2021 and were disappointed with what the game was, it's changed a lot. And it feels
how long did it take you to beat the campaign,
20
you think?
hours.
20 hours? Okay.
Yeah.
Not a huge investment.
Right. Yeah, it's not super long. You could obviously get way more time out of it if you did
Yeah.
more of the side quests and more exploration, that kind of stuff. But I feel like I did a lot, and
I need to boot it up again and just restart it from the beginning. I mean, I was only a couple hours in, maybe a couple hours.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I need to retry it because I mean, when I was watching you play for a few minutes after we were done with the GalaxyCon, it looked beautiful. Like it looks
It's
incredible.
a like great looking game, like so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic
Cool.
vistas, and hanging out like outside of Night City, looking into it, it just looks very cool. It's very realistic and vibrant.
Yeah.
That being said, I would not want to live in this world. It
Yeah.
sounds
Cyberpunk sucks.
terrible.
Yes. Anything cyberpunk like aesthetically looks awesome, looks very cool, very pretty, but just the
Socially,
world
it sounds
itself,
terrible.
socially, it just sucks. So yeah,
That's why I liked the Pan Am route, because everyone was like outside of the city, like more grounded people, which
we'll snack
is
to him back
cool.
there.
She's digging. She's making her little bed. She'll,
Just
like,
digging.
go behind the drums, and she'll, like, lay kinda, like, back there during the day.
Dogs, I don't, yeah, I think it's just, like, dogs I guess cats too, but, like, even, like, my dog, Iris, our German, Shepherd Husky mix, like, I'll be in my office and she'll get underneath my desk, like, the tightest possible spot in my office and just, like, lay down. I'm like, what are you doing?"
Like, there are a million spots in this house, and you choose I mean, they just like
Yeah,
to be close to you, you know?
just you chose, like, you're, like, the biggest dog and you're in the
Yeah.
tightest spot.
Oh, man.
Well,
But
cool, yeah,
Cyberpunk,
I think I need to,
good.
yeah, I need to try that again sometime. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna get to it soon, but I need to at least boot it up and experience it.
yeah. I also played the Cat Quest 3 demo.
Okay, cool.
I know we talked about it last
I've
week,
got it
and
downloaded. I have not played it yet.
it's very fun. I'm
Okay.
extremely excited for its release this week, as well as SteamWorld Heist 2. Both of those come out this week. This one, I mean, I played the first Cat Quest, and I didn't 100% it, but I got pretty close to getting everything. It was a short game.
Yeah.
This one just feels like like a big step up from the first game.
Okay.
So I'm really excited. It's like a nautical adventure. You have a ship. You can like very easily and quickly get on a ship. There's ship combat, and then of course it's a traditional RPG where you're leveling up. You're getting new abilities. You have spells, weapons, swords that you're constantly finding in treasure chests, that kind of stuff. It's one of those cool games where you can spend a lot of time just like exploring the overworld and just like
Yeah.
finding random nooks and crannies to
Does it still do the thing where, like, you're traveling, like, over the map, but it's like
yes.
okay, okay.
Yeah, you're
That
traveling
was
over the
cool.
map, and combat is happening there too. So
Yeah.
it's less like it, it's a little bit more it's more different than Cat Quest 1, where like that one you're traveling over the map,
Yeah.
and you know it. But this
Yeah.
one feels more like a world, and then of course
Okay.
there are caves and other places to go into
Cool.
inside of the actual map. But yeah, very short demo. It's like 30 minutes, but very fun. Excited for this one
Okay. Yeah, I need to try it out. 'Cause that comes out, is it end of this week or is it next week?
this week.
This week, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And it's co-op too, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay,
like drop in, drop out, co-op,
nice.
essentially. And then lastly here, I finally I had picked up Unicorn Overlord a few weeks ago when it was on sale. And I'd played the demo, played for 5 hours, really loved it. And
The meatiest demo in the world.
dude, just such a meaty demo. I love the way they just love the approach they took with that, where they gave you like a 7-hour timer and just said, hey, go as far as you can. Of course, it's a really, really long game, so you're not going to get,
Yeah.
super far. But yeah, I picked up right where I left off, and I think I'm at like 15 hours now. So I've put a good amount of time into it,
Wow,
and
okay.
yeah, I love this game. It kind of
What
similar.
what's the combat like?
How do
Is it
I?
Fire Emblem-esque?
No, it's not grid based.
Okay,
You start a battle, and you set your characters, and you set your units. Each unit can have like up to 4 characters in it,
okay,
and you set your unit on a path, whether that path be just towards a random spot, towards an enemy to battle, or like towards a post to capture or something like that. But you send them on a path, and once you like unpause the game, everything starts happening, and like all the enemies start coming, and you can pause it whenever and change paths and all that stuff. But once you collide with an enemy, you'll go through kind of an auto battle, and you can like change the positioning of your characters, and that changes their priority of attacks and that kind of stuff. And
okay,
you can set a lot of conditions of like, okay, this character only attacks characters with less than 50% HP, or you can have your characters attack whoever has the lowest HP. And then once you set all those conditions and press battle, it does an auto battle, so everything just happens. And then if you lose, whatever, you don't die necessarily. You just took more damage than you get, like than they took.
okay.
Um, and then like there's a bunch of other systems, but you know, you have to manage your stamina. Like, okay, you can only do 5 battles before you have to go to a garrison and like rest and re-up your stamina.
Okay, that's pretty
Uh,
neat.
so it's very cool. I mean, definitely not for everyone. And you know, to be honest, like I didn't know if it was gonna be for me when I first played the demo, but I'm a fan of Fire Emblem, so it kind of translates to a
Yeah,
certain degree.
sweet.
Um, but kind of similar with Cat Quest, weirdly, like this is one of those games where like after you finish a battle, and really like when you're outside of battle, you can kind of travel around the overworld, kind of similar to Cat Quest, where you're like finding all these nooks and crannies, finding all these like mining areas, all these items and this kind of stuff. And then you can go to a bunch of towns and help build them up and you know trade with them, that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
there's a lot to do outside of battle, and that's kind of my favorite part is just
Yeah,
you know doing a battle and then exploring the area and yeah, trying to help out as many villages as you can.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably one that I'm gonna pass on, but I'm glad you are enjoying it, Mister. Taking on these massive RPGs all year long.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and I still need to finish Final Fantasy. See, it's just hard. If Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I love it. It's really great, but it's hard the fact that it's a PS5 game, and I have to like you know sit down, look at
Dedicate.
a screen, yeah, dedicate time. Like you can't just I'm gonna put in 20 minutes into Final Fantasy VII. You're gonna spend 20 minutes watching a cutscene.
Exactly. Yeah.
With Unicorn Overlord, at least I can pick up my Switch and play it for 10 minutes and feel like I did something, you know, even if I didn't necessarily get into a battle. So it's
I mean, it's like when I played Final Fantasy X a couple days ago. Like I probably played 45 minutes, and 30 minutes of that was cutscenes. So it's
right.
like,
It's like
yeah,
there's a time and place for everything.
yeah, for
But
sure.
I do need to get back to Like a Dragon and Final Fantasy 7 while I'm doing this, but I like
You
it,
know,
man.
handheld gaming is a little bit different. You can just super chill out.
Right. And this game is definitely a Switch
Yeah.
game. Like
Is it on
100%.
any? It's on everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. All right. Anything else you've been playing?
No. No, that's really it. Played some Clubhouse games this weekend with Alicia, but
I did see you on the well when I was uh I think I was playing I was on the Switch last night and I was seeing if you had played any more Nintendo Championship World.
oh,
And
okay.
I saw Clubhouse on there. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, so he's playing that."
Yeah, we just
It's a good game.
play some cards. It's a great
Fun.
game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Such a good party game. Well,
Yeah.
not really, because you can't really play with more than can't play most of the games with more than 2 people.
Is it you can play that docked, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. But that's the one where you could connect switches together technically, right? And like do some fun things with like some of the
I
car
think
games or something.
I
Pretty
think
sure you can
so.
get yeah,
Yeah,
I think you can connect them together. I think we might have tried that one time at the mountains
I think we
when it
did. It
first
was
came
like
out
the
years ago.
RC racing, something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
like
Yeah.
create tracks, but obviously you can't do that all the time. But okay, cool. Yeah, that's a fun game. All right, well let's dive into the news. We got some fun stuff to talk about. We'll start it off. We'll get to the first and last story I got here, and then we'll kind of end off with Nintendo. Another Crab's Treasure. Agro Games, I believe. Agro Crab.
Tiger
They just
Crab.
tweeted out earlier that between all platforms, Another Crab's Treasure sold 500,000 units, which is incredible for a smaller, like indie style developer. Um, doesn't include Game Pass. I don't know I don't know how many people played it on Game Pass.
Mhm.
But that's pretty great. I absolutely it's probably still one of my favorite games of the year. Very friendly to get into, Souls-like experience. Uh, I highly recommend it. And yeah, this game is great.
Yeah, yeah, very great. New Game Plus is coming, apparently.
Yep, New Game Plus. I think they're still working out some Switch issues as well. So I would play it on the PlayStation or Xbox
I'm
or
really glad I didn't
PC.
pick it up on Switch.
Yeah. Um, and then the second story, a little bit of a bummer depending on who you ask, but Avowed got delayed to February 18th of 2025. Um, it kind of got leaked or whatever prior, and then Xbox and Phil Spencer came out and said something about it that yeah, it's getting delayed. We've got all these other great games coming out this year, which we still don't have a release date for Indiana Jones, which I thought that was going to be the one that was going to get delayed. To be
Yeah, I would have
honest,
thought that too.
so yeah, no surprise that Avowed got delayed. They say they got a lot of games this holiday.
You want me to read the
Um,
tweet?
yeah, yeah, go ahead and read it.
Okay. So many games coming. As such, we're moving Avowed to February 18th, 2025 to give players backlogs some breathing room. Stay tuned for more games across Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, Xbox Game Studios at Gamescom, including our August 23rd live stream for a look at Avowed.
Yeah, they could
As in
say
that
that, but
timeline.
I think it just needs some extra polish,
Right. Yeah, I mean,
which is fine.
they definitely didn't want to say that, it didn't show well and
Yeah.
they're taking time to polish it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like a delay in a game is never a bad thing. Yeah, if you're like a fan of it or you want to play it now, I understand that you're upset. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, you look at something like Redfall. Yeah, Redfall, like, I don't think that game was going to be good anyways if it had 60 frames per second. If it didn't ran like shit, I think that game is going to suck because I just don't think there's much there to that game. Not a lot of personality. Um, but if Avowed came out and it was super glitchy and buggy,
But
that is
DOA.
not a good look for Xbox at all.
Yeah.
So,
And like I'm looking at their, timeline for the rest of the year and honestly most of the stuff is geared towards PC, like
yeah.
World of Warcraft expansion, Age of Mythology Retold, Aura History Untold, and then you have Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred,
Yep.
uh Black Ops 6, that's, something for consoles
It's gonna be
too.
huge. It's gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna be
huge.
huge. You have Flight Sim 2024 and then Indiana Jones, that's TBD, and then
Yeah.
Starfield Shattered Space TBD. Towerborn TBD. I mean, at this point, I'd feel better about an Avowed delay if we had concrete dates for, any of the big three, or sorry, I guess big two between Indiana Jones and Starfield Shattered Space.
Because what I know that Obsidian had done like a press release on their website. What date did they put out? Because they quickly took it down. Wasn't it like November something?
Yeah, it was sometime in November,
13th or 12th or 14th, something like that.
right? So if they had done that, that would have been, a few weeks after Call of Duty, and then probably a week before Flight Sim, which I don't know
Yeah.
if those genres, overlap any, but
Probably not, but they probably still don't want like to, cannibalize their own stuff by having so much stuff, coming out. And so I do get that. And I think that was probably a part of it, but they were also probably like, yeah, this can, probably use a little bit more polish, which is totally fine. So hopefully
yeah.
this game turns out really, really awesome. And the delay was worth it. But yeah, we still got so much other stuff to play. I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I do wish that they could get a decent cadence of games and, you know, I'm looking at 2025, you see Avowed, you see South of Midnight, you see Doom, The Dark Ages, and then you see Fable. If all those can hit, if all those come out in 2025 and can hit, that's a good year
Huge,
for Xbox.
huge year.
I wouldn't say that this year has been good for them yet. I mean, the first half only had Hellblade,
Yeah.
and that was a small game.
Small game. I thought it was a good game, but it didn't like,
It didn't have a big impact.
no, yeah, it was just kind of like a came and went kind of game.
Yeah, I
So
think this year they're definitely riding on Call of Duty,
yeah.
and that's totally fair, totally fine. They do what they want. I don't care, but they
Yeah,
keep
I mean,
saying,
I'm
"Oh,
gonna I'm gonna try it out. Like it's
right,
like the
right,
most interested I've been in Call of Duty in so long, but also like a big part of that is because it's on Game Pass and I don't have to pay $70 to play it to
right."
experience it. So, but all the stuff does look really cool. I am excited to check it out. So yeah, I think Xbox, with PlayStation not having anything this year other than Astrobot, they need to have a lot of hits. And if Avowed came out and it didn't perform well, literally perform well, like if it was buggy and stuff, um, it would just been another bad look for Xbox in 2024, and they've had a rough year so far.
They've had a rough generation. I mean, they've had a rough 2 generations when you think about it. Like, this generation is pretty cooked. They've only sold, like, 25 million consoles, something like that, in 4 years. I mean, that's terrible.
Can you believe it?
That's
I'm
just
adding a story in real quick. I can't believe we didn't even think about this.
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, we'll briefly talk about it.
Yeah. But I guess my main my main wish for Xbox is to see them hit that big game a quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have that cadence. You gotta have those games ready. You gotta be like Nintendo, where they have probably 5 games on deck
Yeah.
ready to go that could come out tomorrow, but they're
Yeah.
holding them until next year, holding them for the Switch 2, whatever.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in a second. Like they are certainly down. Like everybody is just down in general. Like it's not just an Xbox problem with console sales. Like PlayStation isn't hitting their goals. Nintendo, but I mean Nintendo we're in the 8th year of Switch. So, I mean, obviously, like, you know,
Obviously, they're not gonna
that
hit it.
doesn't that doesn't count. When Switch 2 comes out, I'm sure it's gonna be pretty massive. But yeah, I agree. I think when every single company is firing on all cylinders, it makes for a better overall experience in the gaming world. If we can just get past these layoffs, like, and finally get in the right spot,
Mhm.
um, I don't know.
When people aren't developing with fear,
Yeah.
that's when that's when you get the really good games.
So I guess let's just I just added the story in, but so obviously last week, um, Bungie announced that they're doing a bunch of layoffs. Um, this comes out right after they just released the final shape, which was like one of their best reviewed expansions yet. I think it did decently well in the grand scheme of like Destiny expansions. I did hear that the fall off of this expansion was pretty significant compared to other ones for whatever reason. Which, if it sold well, great, but they don't have that continuing revenue of people buying stuff. I don't know exactly what you could buy in Destiny, to be honest. I haven't played it in so long. Um, Nick, my question to you: Do you think PlayStation got ripped off in this deal? The $3 billion acquisition that they did with Bungie, because it just seems like it has not paid off in any sort of way.
When did they acquire them? Was it 2022?
Yeah, it's 2022.
Yeah, I think they got ripped off. I mean, I think when they bought them, Sony was leaning heavily into the live service games. What's Kellen saying?
He's telling me about his Fortnite match. Nice.
Did he win?
No, I think he just lost. Speaking of Fortnite, they did like a Pirates of the Caribbean like not expansion, like a little mini battle pass that they've been
Yeah.
doing. And one of the goals, like one of the quests, was like to get a victory royale. We probably 10 times in a row we got second place, and we were getting so frustrated. Um, Mainly, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm ready for this season to be over, and I think they're continuing on with the car, like the vehicle combat in the next season, which
Mm,
sucks. They're doubling down, and it makes sense because like they sell car skins now. Like there's a Cybertruck in
of course.
in Fortnite now, so it's like they're doubling down, tripling down on this stuff. But God, I hate it so much. It's so annoying. But back to Bungie. Yeah, I agree with you. I just and I know I think when they got acquired, I think they were working on like a Destiny spinoff, which I think got canned. Obviously, there's Marathon. Like,
But is Marathon gonna do well? Like
who
I don't.
like who wants and like who's craving an extraction shooter? I don't think anybody is. I mean, people will. I'm sure people will try it out, but like it just seems like that's going to be like a
Kinda
dead on
DOA.
arrival type of game. Like same thing with like Concord. Like that game just doesn't seem like it's already a $40 game. I just don't see that game popping off. And then you look at
Yeah.
Destiny overall. Like the main problem I see with Destiny is it is so incredibly hard to get into as a new player because they sunset a lot of the prior DLC, so you can't even play those. Um, and like the
Right.
lore is so I mean, the lore is great from what I hear, but like just trying to dive into it for the first time, jumping into like the newest expansion, like it's almost impossible. So like you only have so many players that are going to buy your expansion. They're probably the hardcore.
It
And if
goes
you can't
down each
sell to
time.
them, yeah, it's gonna go down every single time. So
Yeah,
I just I don't know, man. I did a YouTube video early this week or last week about, just like, okay, what if Bungie never left Microsoft? And I in the video, I explained like, yeah, I understand that they wanted to do something different. Like I totally get wanting to get away from Halo, and expand your horizon, and do something different. But the way they did it, like they left, they signed a 10-year deal with Activision. Um, I don't think Destiny 1 going into Destiny 2 was doing very well at that time, so Activision wanted out. They wanted out so bad that they gave all the rights to Bungie and let them just keep Destiny, keep the IP, keep everything. So they took a significant loss in Destiny. So I think that's how bad it was performing for Activision. Um, and a lot of people at the time were like, "Oh, well, maybe, it's Activision. Like they suck. They're a horrible company to work with." But now that we're past that and they got acquired, Bungie got acquired by PlayStation, is it everybody else that sucks or is it management? Is it Pete Parsons, like the CEO of Bungie? A lot of people are
mhm.
calling for his head, because like again, this is another situation where you know he I don't know he gets to be the millionaire. Like I think a couple weeks prior to all this, like he bought like a bunch of like vehicles and stuff like that, and
Right.
it's like, man, it's like, so you are a horrible boss and horribly manage this company, but nothing happens to you. Like you don't lose your
Yeah, it's
job.
not
Like
your
how
head on the chopping block.
like if you were Bungie or if you were PlayStation, and there's probably talks going on right now, but like how is this guy not out of there? Like give him his golden parachute package, whatever you got to do, get him out of there.
Yeah, I think it's mismanaged. You're kind of right. Like they dug themselves so many holes and you know they blamed like, okay, we wanted to be completely independent. That's why we got away from Microsoft. Oh, we wanted to be independent. We got away from Activision, and then they're back under Bungie. It's like I just don't know what the direction is, what the vision is, because they left Xbox, and then they make a game that's somewhat similar to Halo in gameplay. So it's not like they had a vastly different vision that they wanted to pursue. And then of course they make Destiny 2, and it's hard to come back from kind of a failure like Destiny 1 and just say like, hey, like guys, like this one's really good now.
Yeah.
Like this one, like they got it right. It's hard to get
Yeah.
people back into that
And I
ecosystem. And if
think
you don't get them at the beginning, it's hard.
and I think they had their moment where like Destiny 2 was like really, really good, but
I mean, I played through the campaign
eventually
for Destiny 2.
yeah, exactly.
It's good. It's
So
fine.
like but yeah, eventually like once you have so many different expansions, like you're just not gonna get a lot of new people coming in. And like you said, like there's gonna be a dip, every single time going forward. It's a live service game. Like how long is that theoretically gonna last? And you
Right.
also got to look at like Bungie with underneath Xbox is like they were never able to ship any games on time. It was always delayed. So like is that Xbox problem or is that a Bungie mismanagement again, not being able to
We're
yeah, I understand like delays are fine. We just talked about Avowed, but like they've had a history of not getting games out on time or like, they say, okay, we can get a game out in 3 years, but it's actually going to be 4 years, something like that. So
were
I don't
Halo
know.
3 and Reach delayed?
I think I think they were delayed. Um, I don't
Oh,
know if
okay.
they
Yeah.
gave like a concrete date and then got delayed, but I think like it was internally delayed or something like that.
Well, I'm reading an article from I think 2007, but it talked about the delay, and then it talked about Microsoft's plans to turn Halo into a blockbuster movie.
Oh wow, jeez.
How that plan fell apart.
So I mean, yeah, it's very frustrating because like Bungie is considered a legendary studio in gaming, um, and it's just like a far cry from what they used to be, in my opinion. And I mean I don't
Right.
really care about Destiny. Like I didn't really enjoy what I played when I played it back in the day. And I played Destiny 2 like a little bit, but I just couldn't get into it. And I'm not a big not a big live service guy. Like I don't want to feel like the game is less because I'm not playing with people, and that's the way I always felt with Destiny. I felt like, okay, this is
Yeah.
fun, but I'm missing on the raids because I don't have people to play with, and the game just feels like empty without people. What? Oh, you got the legendary car?
Right.
We got the ringmaster.
Nice.
I have everything now. Yay.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just frustrating.
That being said, I feel bad for everyone who got laid off. Like that
Yeah,
obviously
absolutely.
sucks, and
Yeah,
and the frustration isn't with the individual developers. It's with management. It's with whoever's
exactly. Yeah,
driving the
yeah,
vision of Bungie, and then of course with Sony too. I mean, they're to blame. I mean, they're obviously to blame for the layoffs. Uh, but what we talked about at the beginning, like, did they get ripped off with that deal? I think Bungie
yeah.
oversold
They
what they
did.
could
Yeah,
do and what they were capable of, and you know, obviously that kind of revealed itself. You know,
yeah. And they use Bungie like
couple years
they were using them as as like a
consultants,
yeah, consultants for like the Last of Us game, the Factions game, and they were coming in and saying, yeah, that this isn't good enough to work, and then we have this situation. I just think there's too many people. Like there's too many people working at Bungie, in my opinion, for Destiny. And like I just feel like there's just too many people. Like
yeah,
you aren't like Fortnite. Like Fortnite has like 1,000 people working on that game at all times, but that game
and
makes
they had layoffs too.
tons of money. Yeah, exactly. So it's like I think the team is way too big. Um, I mean, who knows if they're going to have another delay or excuse me, another layoffs. Who knows? But man, it's just frustrating because all these developers, they're so passionate, and it seems like they weren't expecting this, and it just kind of happened, which is usually the case with all this stuff, and that's again just frustrating.
Right. And here's a headline right here. Bungie is reportedly going to pull the trigger on layoffs regardless of the final shape's success due to
Yeah.
leadership under delivering on financial promises to Sony.
Yep. So
And
you
that
have
says
all these
all you need to
people
say.
crunching, crunching because they want to get this expansion out, and then it finally comes out, does critically well, and then you get laid off. Like that just
Yeah.
sucks. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah.
So,
Sucks.
all right, well let's end on some happier news. Nick, this is one of our favorite times of the year. Nintendo financials. What you got for us?
All right. Well, this quarter we got we had some games come out. We had Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, Luigi's Mansion 2, and Endless Ocean. Those are the 3 first party games published by Nintendo.
Did you
Thousand
say
Year
Princess
Door?
Peach, or is that
No,
last
that
quarter?
one was last
Last.
quarter.
Okay, cool.
Thousand Year Door sold 1.76 million units, which I think puts it at one of the best launches for Paper Mario. So it's doing well.
Yeah, good.
Origami King lifetime sold something like 3.5 to 4 million.
That's pretty
So that
pretty
one,
good.
yeah, that one did well. Luigi's Mansion sold 1.19 million units, and that was over the course of what, 4 days since it came out at the end of June.
That game's
So
gonna sell like I bet it's gonna at least gonna sell 4 to 5 million by
by the end of this year.
probably by the end of this year.
Yeah, I think it could.
I mean, there's a lot of people that probably missed that game. Just
I mean, that
yeah.
one sold well on the 3DS too. It
Yeah,
sold like
yeah.
12 million. I think.
Oh, was it that high? Jeez. Okay.
Am I wrong? I might be wrong.
I mean, if so, that's incredible.
Thought it did. Oh, sorry. 6.4 million.
Okay. I mean, that's still good.
Still good.
Yeah.
Still very good. Endless Ocean, we did not get any figures for, meaning it sold less than 1 million. I would guess this game sold less than 100,000 units.
Do you think less than 100?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I could see that.
That
was an interesting one for them to attempt to bring back or have a sequel to. I don't know. Just
right. And I don't think it ran well, and didn't seem very interesting. But
was it a $60 game?
Yeah.
Or was it 50?
Yeah, it was.
It was 60. Okay.
No, it might have been 50.
I think it might have been $49.99. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Wow, that's not good.
No, not good. Not good at all. Sorry, I'm trying to find let me go to just trying to get the Switches.
Oh, lifetime sales?
Yes. Top selling. Here we go. All right, so the Switch is now sitting at 143.4 million units sold. It sold another 2.1 million units this quarter, and that's down 46% from the same quarter last year, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the 8th year of the console. It's not going to sell super well. It doesn't have a huge launch like Tears of the Kingdom. That was that was a big driver last year around the same time.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. A lot of people double, triple, quadruple dipped into Switches for the OLED edition.
Yeah, and
but
kind
interesting enough, their projections for Switches sold through the year are still at like 13 million, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, they didn't change their projection.
You got to think that, I mean, a lot of people are going to double dip on the Switch Lite. You got to think there's either something else up their sleeve that they haven't announced yet, or they're going to have like a big time price reduction, a permanent price reduction.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's going to be some sort of price reduction this holiday.
Yeah,
I think there has to be if they want to hit that goal.
Yeah.
But kind of like going along the lines of big releases, there's not really anything coming out throughout the rest of this year that's gonna drive hardware that much. I mean, we have Emio, we have Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Luigi Brothership. None of those are going to drive system sales. I mean, Zelda's probably going to sell really well. Mario Party is going to sell well. Mario and Luigi will probably sell 1 or 2 million, hopefully.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I think Zelda was probably its lifetime sales maybe between 10 and 15. It's just a smaller game. Like they're not. It's not like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild.
If it'll be that high, because I mean, what's Link's Awakening at? Like 6 million?
Well,
like that?
I'm thinking like lifetime. But I guess if it's for on the end of the Switch's life cycle, maybe between 5 and 10, something like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be sub 10 for this one, which will still be good. I mean,
yeah, it's still good. I imagine this game probably wasn't super expensive. They already had the engine.
Already had the ideas in place too. With
exactly
some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And this was the first time we saw an actual release year for Metroid Prime 4, 2025. No longer TBD or TBA or whatever it was.
It's always good to see.
But really, aside from that, nothing too crazy. I mean, if you've
What are
been
your thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom? Because a lot of people were like on
well,
Twitter and talking about how I think it's like a what 21 million now total.
yeah,
But the last time they did the sales, it was like a 20 million, something like that, and that was pretty much all up front. So it sold, I think,
very front
100
loaded.
190,000 since it launched, right? And then, but in that same time frame, Breath of the Wild has sold 200,000. So it sold 10,000 units better. And some people are like all upset in their feelings, but I'm like, who cares? Like it's still an
Yeah,
evergreen title. Like it's a $70 video game versus Breath of the Wild, which is 60. It's also on sale a lot. Uh, it's also a sequel, which traditionally sequels don't do better than the original. And Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. So I mean, like,
yeah. I yeah, I will say like probably between June of last year and June of this year, it only sold probably 1,000,000 copies. Like
yeah,
of the 20.8, I think 19.8 million was completely front loaded within the first
yeah.
2 weeks of release.
Which is surprising to me. I thought that Tears of the Kingdom had a
Thought it had
chance
better
to
legs.
outsell Breath of the Wild just because of the install base of the Switch at the time and now. Um, and now like I'm not so sure it will, but also like who cares? Like it's Nintendo is still very happy with that. Like it's all
Right. Yeah,
fine.
I'm sure they're very happy. And my hunch is that Tears of the Kingdom will have some sort of upgraded version
Sure, yeah.
on
Yeah.
the new Switch. And Breath of the Wild might as well, but I could see Tears of the Kingdom having some sort of like 60 frames
Yeah.
version, some sort of upscaling, maybe an expansion or something in there as well. But I think they'll do something to boost up Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch too.
Yeah, hopefully it's either free or like very minimal to upgrade.
Mhm.
I don't want to see like a separate Switch 2 version. I think we talked about this before. I don't necessarily mind if they had like a remaster or remake of Breath of the Wild. I don't necessarily want that, but if they could
Uh,
just do an upgrade, you know, for Breath of the Wild, that would be even better. But um, I don't know. I mean, I may buy it again for the Switch 2 if it's like significantly better. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I probably would buy it if it came to the Switch too,
Yeah,
but
I mean it's 7 years old at this point. Like,
right. But kind of on the point of these like late cycle releases, I mean, you think about Super Mario Bros. Wonder, that game sold a ton upfront. I think it was over
yeah,
10,000,000 when it came out. Now it's at 13.4 million. It's still
yeah.
under Super Mario 3D World. So the legs on the problem with like with the end of cycle games is the legs just aren't as great as they are if you release a game with a console or you're within the first couple of years
Yeah. I think people are just kind of like
over the
ready
Switch.
for the next thing.
Yeah.
Ready for the Switch 2. Especially they've already confirmed that it's happening. Um, there's so many different options for handheld gaming right now that people are getting that fix elsewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, they might miss out on, the Zeldas of the world and Marios, but is that worth it to if you don't already have a Switch, is that worth it to get it now at this point? Or do you just say, I'll just wait and hopefully the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible and then I'll buy that stuff then. Like I'm curious if we'll like, a couple months after the Switch 2 is um gets released, like if we see a big boost in prior games like Mario Wonder or Tears of the Kingdom, stuff like that.
Yeah, 'cause
If it's
I think they
assuming it's
could
gonna be backwards compatible.
right, and if they do some sort of free upgrade, I can see them marketing those games
Yeah.
as newer than they actually are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dang, Age of Calamity sold 4,000,000.
It did well. I like that game a lot.
Skyward Sword did 4.15. Tropical Freeze did 4.6. Clubhouse Games did 4.6.
Pretty good.
Dang.
Any other big areas you want to touch on the financials?
How much do you think Mario Party Jamboree is going to sell?
I'm probably gonna say like 10 million for it comes out when, October or September?
October. I would say 10 million life to
Uh,
date.
how many 10 million life?
Yeah. I would say by the
Yeah.
end of this year, like 5 million, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe I'm overshooting a little bit. I think it's gonna do very well. Those games usually sell. I mean, news. No, what is it? Not
S-
super, but what's the other one?
Superstars.
Superstars. Isn't that the best selling Mario Party?
Super Mario Party sold
Super.
20.8.
Jeez. Okay.
And then
Okay.
Mario Party Superstars sold 12.9.
Okay.
So both very good.
So new Mario Party looks really good.
Yeah.
From what we've seen so far. So I think that is going to do very well. At least 5 by the end of the year,
Yeah. Yeah. I
going into the holiday.
think so.
And if there's a price reduction, yeah, that could be huge. And then lastly, we're going to end on just talking about the Zelda trailer, the new one that dropped this morning. A 5-minute, like pretty detailed trailer. Always got to love that. I'm gonna go ahead and get this played up here on the screen. I'll just have it muted and we can kind of talk about it. But yeah, they announced a lot of new stuff. Obviously we got horses are in the game, which is cool.
Very cute horses. Yeah.
Yeah, very cute horses. Fast travel.
Yeah, fast travel outfits, different outfits for Zelda.
Yeah, this game looks. I mean, we were both pretty excited for it when they announced it. Especially, finally
yeah.
we're playing a Zelda, long rumored Zelda playable game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it just looks better and better. Like,
Yeah, just
it's so adorable,
visually
man.
looks so
Yeah. My
really
only
great.
concern at this point is how's it gonna run?
Hopefully,
Because
at this point,
Link's
they've ironed
Awakening
out the issues.
it didn't run super great back in 2019 when that came out. So hopefully they can get it working.
Right. I do like the different Zoras here.
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's cool. The river and with the ocean,
yeah, yeah. It
and then
looks
you have
very
your
cool.
like your potions and shakes, whatever they're called, milkshakes.
Which does different effects, right? Like gives you
Yeah,
different
different
attributes,
effects.
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like side quests in the game too. Like it seems like it's a pretty
I mean, it seems relatively meaty,
yeah.
and obviously taking a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I mean,
Yeah.
Fair and Wetlands, like that's
Yeah.
feels like it's pulled straight out of
Yeah,
Breath
it
of the
feels like we're
Wild.
getting like a I guess it's not really 2D, but
Like
top down like
yeah.
yeah, it feels like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom top down version.
Mhm. I mean, even the quest log, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Very
everything
yeah.
here, like the UI is
Yeah, all this,
very,
yeah,
very
looks
similar.
very yeah. I like it. Yeah,
I
even
do,
like the
it's a
little
good
like
UI.
um exclamation point when there's some like a quest giver.
Right,
Very,
like the
very,
pop-ups,
very
yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom.
I do like the dedicated jump button. That's very cool. Very
Yep,
cool
yep.
for top-down Zelda.
Travel points. We're watching the trailer for the audio listeners, but yeah, and I like how the map is like doesn't look like it's all the way uncovered. You have to kind of uncover it as you go.
Right.
Looks pretty cool.
I mean, it just seems like like even that, like jumping off that, it's
Yeah.
you would never see that in another 2D Zelda,
No,
like jumping
no.
off a ledge like that.
Like that. That's
Finding
like
a
when you had like
horse.
the rocks feather where you could kind of jump.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a pretty big world.
I really hope this reviews well. I hope it okay, different color horses too. I didn't
Yeah.
notice that for some round.
Yeah, I'm sure you can probably. Maybe you have to like find these. I mean, we don't know exactly the extent of it,
I wonder
or
if it's
if it's
similar
just an
where you
option.
sneak up on them
Yeah, that would be
or
kind of
like
cool.
jump off a ledge and land on them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Zora's flippers that does increase swim speed.
So it's
Okay, so
it's
you can
very
equip
like very
accessories
2D
that
2D
change your
Zelda-esque.
yeah, you can change your attributes based off of what you're wearing, which is cool.
So we're looking at the new bind ability. They're talking about that.
Yeah, this ability is gonna be very cool. I think, you know, what some people won't like about this game is how open-ended puzzles are gonna be. But I feel like it's gonna lend itself well to repeated playthroughs for speedrunners. I mean, there's a lot of demographics that are gonna benefit from
Yeah.
having these, like, very open puzzles, and that's the same thing for Tears of the Kingdom and for Breath of the Wild.
And that's my only kind of, like, issue is, like, okay, whenever you're on a ledge, like, you're just gonna use the bind and throw them off. You're not even gonna bother, using the
Right,
copy
yeah,
ability.
yeah.
Like, stuff like this, like, being able to do the reverse bond too. So
Where you can
cool.
yeah, you can attach to a moving object.
Yeah. So neat.
It's just very interesting. I'm excited to play around with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like a kind of a sandbox. Yeah, they're showing the spider climbing up the tree and you're, bound to the spider. Yeah, very interesting stuff. This part where the rift
Yeah.
and it shows Zelda going into the rift, I do wonder what that's gonna be, whether it's gonna be, some sort of, like, challenge thing, if it's
Yeah,
gonna be a dungeon.
is it a dungeon or is it, like, a dark version of the specific area that you go into? Like, we don't
Mhm.
know yet. And I kinda hope they keep that secret, like how, the depths were secret
Right.
um, up until release, because that was, like, the biggest surprise. Like, the Skyline, were, like that was, like, in every single, like, promotional thing and, like, the big centered, marketing, but yeah, the depths ended up being my favorite part of Tears of the Kingdom. So
Mhm.
hopefully something similar like that. That could be really cool.
Yeah, and I think we'll have one more, like, reveal
Yeah,
that's gonna get us really excited, but everything else, I hope they just keep secret. I mean, I have full faith in this game. Obviously,
yeah.
it's a bit lower budget than, a game like Tears of the Kingdom, but, that's great. It means we get another Zelda game, a year and a half later, which is more than you could say about any other franchise outside
All
of
I need
Nintendo's.
in my collector's heart of hearts is I need an amiibo for Zelda and
Yeah,
for
that'd be cool.
Ganon too, just because we already got the Link's Awakening one. So I would love to.
Some amiibos and then maybe some variants for, like, different costumes or outfits that
Oh,
Zelda has,
like
that'd
a
be
pre-order bonus or something.
whoa. No, not a pre-order bonus, just, like, available. Like, okay, you can have Zelda in, like, the Zora
Oh, you're
outfit
talking about
or,
for,
like
like, different costumes for amiibo? Like, have different
yeah,
variants of the amiibos? Oh, that would be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think in a couple weeks we'll get an announcement for amiibo to come out same day. I think
I think that's
that's
realistic.
yeah, that could be cool. But yeah,
Ye
I'm very excited for this game. More so excited than ever after this morning.
Do you have this game on Fantasy Critic? Did you pick this one up?
I did pick it up, yes, and I have I saw all the stuff you added, and I was like, shit. It's like you texted me and let me know, and I forgot. So
I
I have put in some stuff. So
I did have to drop Avowed, unfortunately.
oh, could you still drop it? Because I know you get 0 points for it.
I don't know, I put in the request, so we'll see what
Oh,
happens on
okay.
Thursday. I don't know if I get 0 points or if it's I really don't know.
Yeah, you may be able to because I think I
But
dropped something. I can't remember what I dropped, but I dropped something and it let me do it. But it also wasn't confirmed to come out yet, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
okay.
So
Yeah, I should probably drop a couple of more games. I still have Do Mario Kart,
Oh yeah,
Fire
that's not
Emblem,
happening.
Genealogy
Fire Emblem,
remake.
Fire Emblem could still happen. You know,
Could be a
because
December
they,
game.
yeah, if they do their traditional September direct, although some people are thinking we're getting the Switch 2 reveal this month. I don't know, but if they
Mm.
have their traditional September direct, I think we'll get Prime 2 there. I think we could get Fire Emblem, you know, and then whatever else they have.
Yeah. Okay, you need to pick up some more games because my list is complete
I
for the most part.
I put in some requests.
All right. I mean, I see Astrobot on here. I see
Yeah, I got
Assassin's Creed
Astrobot.
Shadows.
I got Assassin's Creed. Got Zelda. So we're rolling. I got stuff.
Okay, as long as you got stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah. Even if I got to pick up a not known game or
straggler.
something. Yeah, a straggler. We'll find something. All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to wrap up the show. We appreciate everyone watching, listening, all that great stuff. If you could review us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, that would be fantastic. You can message the show if you want, ask us any questions. Favorite games of the year so far? Are you excited for Zelda? All that good stuff. There's Chill. Sorry, my dog is moaning in the background. Yeah, she comes into my room and then gets mad when she can't leave because the door shuts behind her.
Just grass is always greener.
Grass is always greener. Yeah, Nick, final thoughts before we get on out here?
You know, I'm gonna say something.
Say it.
I think we'll get Silk Song before the end of August.
Nick. Okay, what makes you on 2024, the year of our Lord? What do you think? What gives you the right to think that Hollow Knight Silk Song is a game?
I just can't see them missing out on Brat Summer. You know, you gotta
Brad Summer. What?
Brat Summer.
Brat Summer?
Brat Summer, bro.
What is Brat Summer?
Bro. You don't know Brat Summer?
I don't know Brat Summer.
I don't know if you need to play this game then.
What is Brat Summer? BRAT?
Yeah. I can't believe you haven't heard of this.
An off-putting shade of green. The term brat girl summer
Yeah.
can be
No, it's just
best understood.
It's just an album name from Charlie XCX that kind of took over a little bit.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. All right. So what does that have to do with Hollow Knight?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're changing their color scheme to green from
like a lime green.
Dark. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Whatever gets us this game faster.
Whatever they need to do.
And honestly, right now, I mean, we've got a couple of games coming out this month that we're curious about, but this would be a great time to drop.
It really would. It would be the perfect month. And really, like, the first half of this month is perfect because you have Steep World Heist 2. You have smaller games, but nothing huge.
That would be kind of absolutely devastating for those other games, though. Like trailer drops tomorrow for Hollow Knight, comes out Friday or whatever. Like that would be insane.
Yeah. So we'll see. You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up the show. We will see you next Monday with Hollow Knight impressions.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.